The unseen, overlapping, intertwining experiences in each of us and between us. A zone of possibility just waiting. With each human we encounter, we are met with the possibility that lies in our communication with one another. Nora Bateson speaks of Aphanipoiesis, a term she coined that combines the roots of aphani, or the unseen, and poiesis, becoming. Aphanipoiesis, an unseen coalescence towards vitality, a coalescence of experience becoming unseen. What are the ways in which we communicate with one another that reveal aspects of the unseen? We feel and experience them vibrationally and relationally always. A felt sense or knowing exists in our encounters with each other, providing us complex sensory information that allows us to maneuver our world. The nonverbals, small micro-expressions, and the rich ecology of communication ever moving and flowing in our relationships with one another. This is Aphanipoiesis. In radical youth work, it is necessary we give respect and reverence to the unseen and to the becoming. Youth and youth worker joining in a mutual invitation to understand one another and connect relationally. How do our stories shape and change ourselves and each other? In my work as a critical psychologist, I am continually fascinated at the stories and narratives we tell ourselves about our world, our identity, our existence, and our relationships. Countless youth coming in and revealing the stories they have constructed about their identity, their health, their illness, and their life. In radical youth work, it is critical we suspend any agenda or reductionistic methodology to diagnose or categorize this youth. Rather, we must join with them in a mutual exploration of self and life, a deep dive to understand their way of being in the world, while also being vulnerable about our own ways of being. In this space in between lies an unseen coalescence towards vitality, an Aphanipoiesis. Much of traditional developmental psychology views the adolescent development process as linear, a set of achievable or psychosocial stages, viewing youth more as inept and deficient in knowledge of self and treating young people as students of life, while viewing adults as the teachers. This hierarchy and power imbalance is beyond dangerous in relational and humanistic healing work with youth. If clinicians and practitioners believe they are able to teach youth how to be in the world, we are beyond lost in our understanding of human existence. Each of us must learn how to be in the world in our own way. As Nora Bateson writes, each one of us is a crooked tree, reaching for water and light, bending ourselves around obstacles, scary thoughts, hurtful moments, darkness and thirst, finding a way to breathe in the sun and hold the soil. Our branches are kinked and twisted, because that is what it took to be here. The ways of learning to be in our worlds have shaped our responses, our many experiences are speaking through every gesture. Our loves, our broken past, a tenderness, a criticism, learning always, yearning always in a crooked beauty. To be home for those who may find comfort in the asymmetry of our belonging, a nest cradling new life, tucked into an old log teeming with creatures, learning to be each other's reshaping. Learning to be each other's reshaping is drastically different than trying to bend the limbs of the tree to be shaped the way you feel it needs to be. How can we begin to see youth as trees? How can we see ourselves as crooked trees and begin to see the beauty of our becoming, of our own growth, our asymmetry? Paradoxically, it is only when we accept our crooked ridges that we begin to grow towards vitality. Carl Rogers' radical acceptance, Alan Watts' backwards law, all speak of the importance of allowing and accepting our flaws in order to enrich our holistic growth. For it is the resistance or denial of our crookedness that keeps us stuck and stagnant. With fresh eyes, we must see ourselves and youth as beauty and becoming. However, this requires bravery and courage. The courage and bravery needed to allow a tree to grow as it needs, not in the way in which you think it needs to. In order to keep our relationality alive and authentic, we must always have curiosity and gratitude for the person in front of us. Rather than dissecting, analyzing, or attempting to behaviorally correct, we must allow for an invitation of truth and relational dancing with one another. For it is only when we dance that we loosen and reveal the spaces in between, the cracks and the unseen. Rather than becoming a detective and taking a brutally bright flashlight to our clients, we must invite them to dance and make music together. a sharing, a mutual liberation and learning from one another. When this begins to occur, the gaps are revealed, and this is where the hope of systemic transformation is waiting. Now we dance with one another in ontological and epistemological melodies and improvisation, seeking to see the other as a moving, becoming flow of growth rather than define them as a stagnant entity. This is an invitation to Aphanipoiesis.